Hi, everyone. Anthony Fantano here, internet's busiest music nerd. Hope you're doing well. And let's talk about Trippie Redd. Brand new track out. Topanga is the name of the single. You may remember that I reviewed his latest full-length album a little earlier this year, and he also has a brand new mixtape on the way, A Love Letter to You, Part 3. So the third installment of that Love Letter series. And yeah, let's just give it a shot. Let's see what he has to offer. Kind of intrigued by the strangely religious visuals on the front cover of this single, as he looks like he's like the SoundCloud Jesus Christ being brought up to heaven or something. Let's give it a shot. Topanga, Trippie Redd. That was pretty nice. I like that a lot. All right, let's get into the good and the bad of it. Let's start with the good. Love the instrumental. Whoever produced this track, great production. Has kind of a gospel tone to it. Really rich, really illustrious, very feel-good. It feels like a religious experience. I think he kind of nailed it with the cover art on this single because it very much feels like like a really powerful gospel song in a way. But then, of course, you do have Trippie Redd's vocals, which don't necessarily read like a gospel track, though I do think you probably could have thrown some of those huge gospel choruses in the background of this track and it would have fit. But still, he's just kind of hitting those speedy melodic flows like any other artist in his genre and sort of cut from his cloth does these days, but he's just sounding very different. I love the melodies that he's belting out on this track. Also, some of the little refrains that he hits, the boom, 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 stop right now, you're in danger. Like, super sharp, super catchy. I'm just loving how nimble his vocal melodies are on this track, and when he reaches up into his upper register and sort of hits a volume peak on this track, he's not straining, he's sounding pretty good. This track is indicative of what I've been saying about Trippie Redd. In comparison to other auto crooners and SoundCloud rappers and singers, he has a pretty good voice when he wants to show it off, when he doesn't want to strain it, when he doesn't want to go too over the top, when he wants to stay on key, when he wants to deliver a supremely large amount of passion on a track. He does it really well in such a way that it really puts him ahead of the curve of a lot of other faux singers out there whose vocals don't really sound that great when it comes to pitch or passion and emotion and just general delivery. Dude has a pretty memorable voice as well. So I think vocally up until this point, at least to a degree on a lot of more lackluster tracks in his discography, Trippie has been kind of punching under his weight. But I think this track is certainly an example of him singing really well. And again, the vocal melodies are kind of fire. Maybe they didn't sort of hit me as hard as they potentially could have at the very start of the song, but after a few listens, they really grew on me very fast. If there's anything that's kind of lackluster on this track, it's probably the lyrics. And not that the lyrics are the worst lyrics in the world or anything like that, but given the vocal melody, given the instrumental tone of the track, I guess I would have anticipated something a little bit more personal from him, I guess, from a substantive standpoint or something. But at least the lyrics that he's delivering here are kind of catchy. He seems to be talking to someone who he thinks is in danger, and maybe he himself is kind of the source of that danger because he talks about toting guns in public and people moving around him as if they're strangers, and that maybe in fact kind of putting him on edge, and then acting on that, with a quick trigger finger. So there's I guess kind of an interesting dichotomy at play here, where he's singing to somebody. He may in fact be the person who is putting that person's life on the line, and this track in a way is almost like a warning. You know, it's kind of a warning. And it seems the person who he has in mind who he's singing about is a woman, probably, and wants to take their little ass to Topanga, which is a scenic spot in California. But what that directly has to do with, I guess, warning this person that they might be in danger, I don't totally know. And that's the thing. It's not like that strong of a topic or a concept for a track, but still, instrumentally, vocally, melodically, I thought this track had a lot of great things going for it. And again, despite the fact that I wasn't super impressed on the lyrical front, Trippie is an artist who in the past has shown me he can write pretty well too. I guess it just depends on what his intentions happen to be for that particular track, for that particular vibe, or whatever he wants to get off his chest, I guess. So, liking this track, thought it was pretty good. Trippie Redd, Topanga, definitely one of the more promising songs I've heard from him in a while, and if more melodic and rich cuts like this are on this forthcoming mixtape, then that's going to be a good thing. Though Trippie is, in the past, he showed himself to be a pretty versatile artist, not really a guy who stays in one single lane, but also not incredibly consistent too. So who knows, like, where this next mixtape is going to go as far as consistency and sound and style. So I'm going to leave it at that. Over here next to my head is my review of his last album, Life's a Trip. You can give that a shot, hit that up, or the link to subscribe to the channel. I will talk to you guys later. You're the best, you're the best, you're the best. Anthony Fantano, Trippie Redd, Topanga.